Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the Hungry Millennial back again with yet another podcast. So on this proactive pragmatism, I'd like to talk to you guys about not over promising. You know, um, we want to get to a place where we can under promise, right? Always under promise and over deliver. I look at it from a business standpoint. So this is going to do three things. This is going to save you energy. It's going to maintain relationships, and it's going to manage stress of resources and people. So from a business standpoint, from an organization standpoint, I've seen a lot of organizations fail because they over promise to a customer and then they under deliver, not understanding that it's the employees and it's the individuals that work for them that have to deliver on all these promises that they made. A lot of people, their sales team, and in life, we might do this, like taking on way too much, right? Our own personal sales team, right? We tell people we can do all these things and make all these promises, but we can't deliver because we don't understand the logistical madness that's behind it. Because we looking at the dollar. We trying to make this bread. You know what I mean? But the problem with that mentality is you overstress yourself. People overstress their employees. Right now, we're going through it. So, there are a lot of people who have a decent amount of staff, or, let's say a decent amount of organizations that have a decent amount of staff. But if you look at the culture of that organization, it's because they lead from a place of love, from a place of understanding, right? Like one of the biggest reasons that I've stayed with, my FedEx contractor for as long as I have is because I know that I'm going to be valued as a person. You know what I mean? Like, it's demanding. He expects me to work real hard. But there was an opportunity a while back. Somebody was looking for a manager, and I had to politely decline because I'm like, you know what? Like, I've got a decent thing here. Like, not everybody, even though there are laws and regulations, not every organization is too very kind to military personnel who have to leave. And I get it. I understand it. It causes an inconvenience on staff. But here's the thing: is a lot of us military personnel, if you look out for us, we're gonna look out for you. Because there's one thing, in the military, we have this concept of leadership, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. And so looking at those, the number one is loyalty. You can get loyalty out of us all day, every day. Like, what I'm saying? Like, if Hugo called me tomorrow, obviously, I'd be like, hey, bruh, you know what? Let me do this to make this happen, because I know that there's a direct correlation to my performance and his understanding of when I have something come up. But that also comes with a lot of, personal responsibility. You have to make sure self is okay. But a lot of organizations, they're doing too much. Like, they want to expand and it's not time to expand. It's like, so they got one successful restaurant, but they haven't been running it for 5-10 years, right? That restaurant isn't solid. And so those 5-10 restaurants, they have that one restaurant. So they try to expand to 5 and they try to franchise out too fast. But they're not looking at their employees. They're not looking at their surroundings. They're just looking at the dollar signs. And looking at the dollar sign like that, that's not how you create longevity. Sam Walton, Walmart, and Sam's Club, they didn't create longevity by just putting up pop-up stores. They look at quality. In the African American communities that I worked at, that I've lived in, a lot of the there are a bunch of different cultures, Asian culture and Middle Eastern cultures, who they're extremely patient. So they wait for a lot of businesses to go out. So they make sure their stuff is solid, and then they'll buy up the store and then they'll stock everything. But what I found is I go into, an Asian ran beauty supply store and they have everything that I need. Like, they're just super efficient. Like, they've studied the market and very, very patient. The problem is like, as Americans, we've kind of gotten this thing where we're so impatient. We want it all now that we take on way too much, but looking at, life as, a marathon and not a sprint, you're going to save that energy. You're going to maintain a lot of relationships. You're going to manage stress of resources and people. But if you try to do too much too fast, you might fall just as quickly. And so we want to avoid that. So we always want to, under promise and over deliver. I know a lot of people like under promise. Sometimes I say don't even promise at all. Like, I would much rather, as a customer of something or as a patron of something, I would much rather be, look at the negative and address the elephant in the room first. And you tell me what's up so I can go get it somewhere else. But I'm like, you kept it real with me. So since you kept it real, I'm going to always, try to lean on you to go purchase things and go value things. The problem is people overpromise. So what happens is if you overpromise and then you don't come through, like, that's even worse than you saying, you know what, we're out of stock. And then we're out of stock. I'm like, next time, these are my people. They told me, they saved me some time and some energy, because I went to the next company, they overpromised, and now I'm missing deadlines. Obviously, there's a personal responsibility in that. We're not going to go there. But it's one of those things where you want to underpromise and overdeliver. And Amazon has done this really well. That's why they survive. Like, they'll be like, oh, it's probably going to take 2 weeks and get there in a week. They're like, oh, well, it's probably going to take, whatever. Like, I remember being deployed to Kuwait where, like, they literally, like, over-delivered, like, almost every time. They'd be like, yeah, it's 3 weeks out. And all of a sudden, a week later, like, there was nothing more exciting than getting your care package or whatever you ordered in the mail. So, shout out to, the supply, and shout out to, the HH, the higher headquarters, platoon or whatnot, and making everything happen, because that was awesome. Like, I thank you guys for making the mail. Captain Hamilton thanks you anyway. But it's awesome to see those things. But if we overpromise too much in our system, we don't have the right systems in place. The greatest thing about Amazon and places like Aldi and Walmart is they've got a system in place. So regardless, they're going to be okay. So get your system in place, even in your regular life. Don't overpromise, you know what I'm saying? Over deliver. And then, from there, you'll have better relationships and less stress. So, this is Hungry Millennial, back again with another Proactive Pragmatism. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Stay tuning in. Shout out to Robbie Jinx for this Caver Conquer t-shirt. She also sent me a beanie, but I'm not really a beanie guy, but I throw in a do-rag so I can maintain the waves, and then I'll rock the beanie in the wintertime. So I appreciate y'all. If y'all have any questions, send us an email at prag20@gmail.com. Thank you all.